Hey, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Asta Had an Awakening, Part 4. Now, let me begin to this what if. Let me shut the fuck up, and yeah, other than that, no recaps, no nothing, because it hasn't been 1 month. Other than that, let's begin. So we begin into Asta mostly being at the volcano with the others. And Marileana says, okay, all of you fuckers, now it's time for all of you to start learning how to climb up the volcano. This is where mostly everyone just looks at Marileana like if she was fucking crazy, except for the captains. This is where they know what they're going to have to be doing. Asta was still half asleep. Well, yeah, he was literally asleep. He didn't really care. This is where mostly he just didn't. I don't care that much, but yeah, this is where mostly someone was right now kind of holding on to him while mostly he was sleeping. But yeah, it was none of the But other than that, this is where everyone was just kind of seeing this and they were just confused. They were like, "So we're gonna climb up the goddamn mountain." This is where mostly Marileana said, "Yes, now all of you." This is where she kind of explains a little bit about Mana skin a little bit, but not much. This is where Yami and Charlotte are right now running up there, but yeah. This is where mostly they are sweat shopping. This is where already learns how to use Mana skin. This is where Steph also learned how to use Mana skin. Some like Gina and mostly Gina kind of already learned how to use Mana skin. This is where Azula kind of also learned how to use Mana skin. She already did learn how to do this because she's a witch, and at the same time, not human. She's also a Nekomaru, but not the point. This is where mostly they're kind of running up, but yeah, or mostly Gina, she is kind of running up there because she doesn't really have any kind of magic to actually fly, but not the point. This is where mostly the other mostly kind of the what's it called, the magic what's it called, the lions, I think, yeah, the fire lion, flame lion, I forgot what they're called. But of course they are actually kind of already using Mana skin. Even Leo's actually down there. This is where Noelle is still kind of asleep, but Asta. This is where mostly Marileana wakes both mostly Asta and even Noelle up, and this is where Noelle was confused and she was like, what? Where are we? This is where Marileana says, when you're not making out with your boyfriend, or not making out, when you're not sleeping with your boyfriend, I don't know, pay attention much more, Noelle. This is where Noelle blushes and says, I'm not. This is where Asta right now kind of revealed his eyes, his turquoise blue eyes, and say, He kind of looks towards the mostly very powerful magic area. And notice, this powerful magic area seems to be quite dense in magic. And notice that mostly the only way to kind of get through this place is Mana skin. This is where, he looks at Noelle and kind of just pokes her in the head, right now filling her memories, or mostly head, with Mana skin. This is where, her Mana skin was a bluish color, and she was like, huh? What is this? This is where, Asta says, I just feel your memory, or mostly your head, and how to learn, or use Mana skin. But other than that, he gets up in an instant. This is where, he sees Yuna already flying all the way up. This is where, he grins because he then says blue. This is where, pretty much, he uses magic blue. This is where, mostly, was about to get up there, but this is where, for some reason, he felt like he's not flying anymore up. This is where, Estef is right now making ice pillars, and this is where, she noticed Yuna, for some reason, freeze up in the air, and this is where he gets pulled back straight towards Asta. Asta right now kind of grins, because he's going to be messing with mostly others. This is where, mostly Marileana was confused, until the ground literally smashes near them, as it was literally none other than Yuna. Yuna goes, what the? This is where, he looks at Asta right now, kind of just like standing there and saying, yo, what's good? This is where says, what the hell was that for? I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. This is where, mostly Asta looks away. This is where glares at Asta because he knows Asta did something. Asta has been more trollish than ever. This is where, mostly, mostly Belle appears saying, you meanie, why did you do that to Yuna-kun? This is where, mostly, Asta looks at what's it called, Belle, and just ignore her entirely. And this is where, mostly, Asta says, good luck in trying to catch up, because other than that, this is where, mostly, Asta's Mana skin is literally not any type of element Mana skin. It was literally, he's just infinity, indenting into mostly showing its Mana skin. This is where, mostly, his hair actually went into brightish white color, which mostly kind of allow him to, well, mostly in brightish white color. Something actually appeared on top of his head. It looked like a crown, but it wasn't entirely a crown. It was just kind of invisible and not there most of the time. He didn't know that he was accidentally doing this, and this is where he says, well, see you, Yuno. This is where, well, mostly Yuno says, you bastard, don't you just... This is where, well, he noticed Asta was gone. Asta was already flying up in the air much faster than anyone. This is where, well, mostly he kind of noticed SF to say, hey, SF-chan. This is where SF said, huh? Asta! This is where, well, mostly she screams out Asta's name. Asta was right now flying past the cactus because he's much faster, and of course appears right at the top of the volcano, having right now a pillow, blanket appear, and this we're falling asleep. But yeah. But we go into a time skip of everyone showing up. Mariona shows up. Of course, she realized that mostly Asta's asleep again. This is where Yuno is very angry and pissed that fucking Asta did something like that in the beginning. This is where, well, he is going to get fucking revenge on Asta once he makes Asta wake up. Which he already tried. He tried sending attacks, but Asta didn't wake up anytime soon because limitless. This is where, well, Asta's skin was mostly, his mono skin was still kind of activated, and it was much more denser, so mostly every time Yuno's attacks were much more just destroying an instant. This is where, well, mostly Yuno says, damn it, how did he get stronger than me? And that's where, well, mostly Yuno is trying to figure out how to do that. Until he noticed the grimoire right now floating around, well, mostly Asta, two of them, because, well, mostly Asta got uncomfortable, and so he just let them float around him. This is where, well, mostly everyone was shocked, the ones who didn't actually notice Asta's second grimoire. Mariona says, what's with the second grimoire? Yami says, that's when he awakened it during a battle with one of the Eye of the Midnight leaders. I don't know how that happened. I don't even know what happened to the kid entirely. I just know he just became overpowered and the strongest in our team. And basically made us become number one. This is where, well, mostly Yami kind of grins. This is where, well, Mariona says, so that's how he can use magic. Interesting. Has he learned how to control his mana? Nope. What? He's been doing it at an instant. I have no clue. I don't think he actually understands the basics of mana control. You serious? Yes. Seriously? Who's going to teach him then? This is where, oh, mostly Yami says, that's the problem. We haven't got a time or mostly day to actually train the kid in actual proper mana control. This is where, well, mostly Noelle kind of sort us, and this is where, well, she knows about mostly how Asta's quite talented in mana, but the problem is he doesn't know how to control it in the first basic part about it. This is where, well, mostly Merliana right now screams at Asta to wake up, which also just wakes up slowly, his eyes showing off to be turquoise green, and that's where, well, mostly Asta says, huh? Wait, we going? Fine, I'm going back home. This is where Merliana says, no, you're not. You're going to be learning how to train and how to use your mana. Huh? Mana control? Oh yeah, I still need that to control that. Sure. I guess I can learn the basics. We go into a time skip. Literally everyone kind of, well, taking a bath in the hot spring. But of course, Merliana had to train Asta on how to learn the basics, which Asta catch on pretty fast with the basics. Literally super fast, which mostly Mariona mistaken for being a genius, and, well, entirely for the fact that he literally learned so fast. Faster than normal Magic Knight speed. This where, well, she decides to try to see if he will learn the advanced kind of techniques. This is where he does. His mana control is not much more better. He isn't much more tired more. He is actually pretty healthy. Mostly every time he looks tired and sleepy, is that just because he's been using too much mana on his limitless. So that's why he's always tired. This is where, well, mostly Merliana can see mostly Asta being much more cheerful and of course less tired and much more energetic. This is where, well, Merliana says, oh, so that's how you're gonna look like when you're not that tired. This is where Asta says, I guess so. Thanks for actually training me there, Merliana-chan. This is where Mariona kind of sees mostly Asta smile, and of course blushes and says, yeah, whatever, brat. This is where mostly Asta says, well, this hot spring, how, well, you said that this hot spring can only appear once in a couple of days and other things. I might show up later when mostly I'm by myself. Mariona says, and where do you think you're going? Asta says, to do something, I need to talk to someone. This is where Asta right now disappears in an instant teleporting. And this is where Marlena says, that brat. I first helped him with training, and yet he won't show me his fucking body. Why am I thinking that? This is where Marlena kind of just about just wonder why the fuck she was thinking about mostly seeing Asta's body. Clearly, Asta's quite physical build, and of course at the same time, he seems to be quite lean and muscular. This is where she doesn't understand why she was even thinking about that. She's no way in falling in love for a kid who's literally still a brat, in her opinion. But yeah, that's why we go into mostly a time skip later on. It's now mostly the Magic Night event kind of whole thing to kind of go raid the Eye of the Midnight. And the people appeared, but someone else appears with a different design entirely. Pretty much he had it to appear with a different design just to kind of look kind of badass, but not the point. But he kind of looks like this. So pretty much he appears with this kind of cloak on, and mostly this hood on also, and having his blindfold kind of this color, but yeah. And of course it's kind of like a very long blindfold, but yeah. And this is where, Asta right now appears in this place, and this is where, he has a small grin on his face. This is where, mostly, there's also one greenish, like, turquoise line actually appearing on his head, but not the point. This is where, it was kind of near his eyes, but yeah. This is where, he's kind of grinning because he actually, it looks like he gotten older. At the same time, not much. This is where, his hair kind of gotten longer, but no one can really see it. This is where, it was basically 2 days later of a time skip, but yeah. But mostly Asta trained in something that allows him to kind of have his hair grow in a little bit and probably age a little bit. Whoever knows. And this is where, Asta is right now kind of looking at the kind of, fight. And of course, the whole fight system is basically Asta, Asta's team, mostly it contains of Mimosa, I forgot his name, Zora, and of course Asta on the team. I'm fighting against the first, mostly random Magic Knights, but yeah. This is where, mostly they appear in the battlefield, and of course the random Magic Knights were about to attack, until mostly, Asta just waited there, even as Zora was asleep, and this is where, Mimosa was confused. Mimosa wanted to do something. The diamond actually did get hit, but this is where, it was mostly Zora's plan. This is where, mostly, Asta didn't do anything because he already sensed mostly the Magic Knight traps. Mostly the kind of traps of, mostly Zora's. And this is where he grabs Mimosa and kind of just holds onto her tight, saying, oh, don't worry then, Mimosa-chan. Everything will be fine. Just let this happen. Mimosa was confused. She was actually kind of in very bliss, mostly comfort, with mostly Asta's kind of voice. Because after hearing it, she actually kind of almost fell in love entirely. She was actually happy that she wasn't falling in love for another guy when mostly she met Asta in his new transformation. But she was still kind of very confused and flustered with his new form. This is where, mostly, while Mimosa was getting hold tight, there was a girl, multiple girls right now jealous. Very fucking jealous at the fact that Asta is holding onto her really tightly. This is where, mostly like hugging her like a damn teddy bear. This is where, they were kind of jealous. This is where, mostly, the magic, mostly not Magic King. Yeah, the Wizard King was seeing this and says, damn, jealousy is the women's kryptonite. People weren't lying about that. Holy damn. Well, that kid is probably prominent in mostly his skills. But he also believes in Zora's skills also. He knows who exactly Zora is. And this is where, the attacks smash into, traps. Literally traps to activate and sent their attacks back. 2 times, smashing into them, knocking them out. They got eliminated. This is where Zora chuckles and says, wow, what a bunch of weaklings. This is where Mimosa was shocked. This is where mostly Asta chuckles and says, I can agree with you there. This is where Zora says, why would a noble agree with me? Huh? Noble? What the fuck you mean noble? I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm not a noble. You see here, Zora. This is where Zora kind of won his eyes after realizing his name was actually found out. His true name. This is where, we'll see. We go into a time skip later on to mostly the next kind of, matches. The next matches were mostly a battle between, this is where, mostly, while everyone was getting ready to battle, this is where, mostly, everyone kind of was in a battle. Gina was on the team with mostly Estef and also someone like, Junko. But yeah, this is where, well, they were fighting against some magic noble knights that pretty much, how should I say, Asta sent a giant ice meteor from the sky, while Gina right now summons a sword that really slashed down two magic knights, and Junko just kicked the shit out of, well, the crystal pretty easily. This is where, well, they just broke it really easily, while the giant last meteor of ice smashes upon, well, one of the nobles, knocking his ass out entirely. But yeah, this is where, well, Asta swept up his teeth, smiles, saying, well, that's a thing to probably be very worried about. This is where, well, mostly both Zora and Might Not mostly switch up at this. This is where, well, mostly everyone else switch up at this, but yeah, this is where, well, Estef, Gina, and even what's it called? Well, not Junko, it was actually Azula, who actually kind of went up to Asta and just says, Asta! Just tried to hug him, which Asta right now says, whoa, girls. We're in the middle of a goddamn battle. Why you girls trying to hug the hell out of me? This is where, well, mostly they're all three powdered, but yeah. Mostly Azula was the one to actually kind of destroy the magic crystal by just sending a blue flame attack into it. But yeah. But this is where, well, she was like, they're all pouting at the fact that mostly also won't let them hug him. This is where, well, he smiles and says, girls, you need to calm down half the time. Right now, Mimosa and Noelle were kind of jealous at this, but yeah. Mostly it seems that, well, Julius realized that he probably should have put all the girls that Asta's mostly entirely into, or mostly the girls are entirely into him. So mostly they won't have a jealousy fight over mostly Asta. This is where, well, Asta's hair is being covered up and even his eyes. The only thing that you can see is his mouth, but when he's moving, smiling. But yeah. Now, of course, this is where Julius can barely sense any mana from him. Either Asta is right now containing it so much easier than normal, or he just doesn't have mana, which is confusing. But this is where, well, we go into the next battles, and this is where, well, the next battle between mostly Asta's team is mostly Soy's, Magna, and even that prey guy. This is where the prey guy says, no way any of you will be able to defeat me. I am the most beautiful man ever. This is where Soy says, no, the most beautiful person ever is Charlotte. This is where Magna says, I hate this team. This is where Asta's laughing at mostly the faraway corner, well, mostly just laughing, well, not corner, mostly in front of them, and saying, this shit's so fucking funny. Magda, who the hell did you get stuck to? So, while mostly Magna is seeing this, where the prey guy, and even right now, so he gets angry, and this is where, well, the prey guy says, mostly kind of says, huh? Why is a commoner like you right now laughing at someone like me, a nobleman? This is where, well, mostly Mimosa was getting angry at mostly what her brother keeps saying towards Asta. Asta says, oh, nothing, I just don't really care about this whole situation. Pretty, handsome, hot, any of that words, pretty much are just words. You'd really have to look into someone's mostly inner side than mostly looking into someone's outside half the time. But who really cares? This is where, mostly Asta reveals himself, and this is where, well, he has kind of longish white hair. Mostly it's now spiked up more up in his head. But this is where, well, he does have his blindfold on and does have mostly, well, just his blindfold on, but this is where his blindfold is kind of crescent with kind of gold, kind of draconic lines, and this is where blue at the same time. This is where he smiles and says, besides, it doesn't matter who's beautiful or hot. It's just words, which I don't care too much. This is where, well, mostly brother was shocked right now just seeing how handsome Asta is without his eye revealing. Right now, the only thing that he sees is his hair. His longish white, silvery, well, mostly white, silky, very silky white hair. This is where, well, Asta says, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is to see how strong you are. And it really doesn't matter. And since you're really talking a lot of shit, I guess I'll be the one targeting you to take you out. Zora, you do whatever. Well, mostly you can do whatever also. And this is where, well, right now making the guy right now a little bit nervous with Asta. This is where Magna chuckles seeing mostly the prey boy right now shut up after a while. He doesn't know, mostly Magna knows that he won't be able to fight against Asta because clearly his Limitless is much more stronger. Which his power of magic is probably intense also. This is where, well, he can really sense it. Making what's it called? Well, Magna himself believed that Asta has gotten stronger in 2 days, which makes no sense and how the fuck that happens, but it's Asta. Asta can just make the impossible be possible. But yeah, this is where, well, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly, Asta kind of just looks at the guy, and of course they get teleported, and this is where, well, the guy says, okay, Well, this is where he activates his cherry blossoms mostly thing, and this is where, well, while that was happening, this is where, well, mostly everyone kind of just sees the blossoms, trying to kind of, well, see through it, but they can't really see. So mostly Asta is just seeing this is where, well, he sees all the blossoms kind of smash into them, but entirely they're not smashing into them. They're literally getting blocked by Asta's just limitless. This is where, well, mostly making Zora and even Momosa wind their eyes. Clearly, Asta is just smiling at this. He's saying, wow, this guy is interesting. Well, this is where, well, Asta right now kind of creates, through his magic, well, mostly Grimoire appearing right in front of him, both of them at once. This is where he grabs the anti-magic sword that was called the Dweller, the Double Dweller, or mostly the, Double Dweller. And this is where, well, he added Limitless into it, but it was right now not even Limitless, it was literally anti-magic into it, and started slashing down, up, down, and this is where he just started swinging so many anti-magic slashes. Straight towards, well, Soy, Magna, and even what's it called, a pretty guy was at. This is where, well, they barely even noticed the slashes. The golem that Soy was on right now gets cut into millions of pieces. This is where Magna, Soy, and even what's it called, the pretty guy wind their eyes, when literally anti-magic slashes smashes into them. This is where, well, pretty guy was hit pretty hard. This is where making him have to be right now, well, lose, so he got teleported back to the arena, or mostly not arena, towards the place, just to watch. He was shocked. This is where Soy was also shocked when she got teleported, and even Magna. They were like, what the? This is where, well, the team was won. This is where, well, pretty guy was looking straight towards mostly Asta's direction, and saw that Limitless was just literally blocking the whole wall of mostly, well, what's it called? Literally just blocking like 5 feet away from Asta, because Asta could just like mostly put his Limitless pretty far or pretty close to him, but not the point. He was just like sending out anti-magic slashes. This is where Asta yawns and says, well, that guy was literally a sucker for that. This is where, well, mostly making Momosa and Zora just wind their eyes, and how powerful their teammate is. This is where, well, while that was happening, so while mostly both, how should I say, well, mostly everyone was right now shocked and stunned and just like dumbfounded. This is where, well, they all look at Asta, which Asta right now has his hood back on. This is where, well, the guy with pretty, well, mostly the pretty face and everything, he was just shocked. He was like, I am lost for words. What the fuck did he use against us? Because we didn't sense anything. Magna says, that is the second, well, mostly his first grimoire. And his second grimoire, I'm still fucking lost. This is where, well, everyone's still lost. This is where, well, Asta is right now hugging onto Mimosa because she seems so warm and cuddly to kind of hug. This is where Mimosa is blushing, and of course this is where, well, her brother gets angry and says, hey, stop hugging my sister. This is where, well, Asta says, why should I listen to a loser who lost to me? No, I'm not going to stop hugging her. This is where Mimosa is right now blushing. She is just shocked to believe that mostly Asta would talk bad of her brother, which she hates it a little bit, but sees that mostly Asta is just being a troll at the same time. This is where, well, her brother gets angry and of course was about to use cherry blossoms until this where, well, Asta was getting ready to actually use his own power. This is where, well, mostly Julius managed to stop them, but mostly the chroma, or mostly the time stop ability really didn't affect Asta. Asta was just floating inside him, because Limitless is literally blocking any attacks. Even time itself. Asta says, whoa, this is so interesting. This is where Julius winds his eyes, realizing that he can't even stop Asta. Asta is literally on a freaking whole different level of magic control and power. This is where, well, making, well, the guy who was about to use cherry blossoms right now be frozen. But yeah, this is where, well, everyone can see that literally Asta is a threat in an instant. Just because he can easily kind of move through mostly Julius' attack, literally make sure that he's nothing to be make fun of. He's not a weakling. He's literally 10 times stronger than anyone. This is where Yuno sees that mostly his rival is literally farther than he can be. This is where, well, he doesn't understand if he will ever be able to beat him or win against him. This is where, well, we go into a time skip later on. Now it's mostly, well, Yuno's, what's it called? Yeah, Yuno's, Noelle, and even that mushroom guy's kind of team. Versus mostly her brother, her, I think, sister is there, and then there's some other guy. But yeah. This is where, well, right now Noelle is trying to fight back against her brother, but her brother is beating her up, and this is where, well, her brother says, you're nothing but a weakling, a pathetic idiot that no one will ever love. This is where Noelle kind of looks up to the stadium and sees Asta. Asta was right now holding himself back from actually lashing out and murdering this guy. This is where, well, mostly, right now Noelle actually noticed his mostly intent entirely. She didn't want to let Asta kind of just kill her brother. No, she wanted to beat him. She wanted to be stronger than anyone. She didn't want Asta just to keep protecting her. This is where, well, she got angry, and this is where, well, she breathed out, and this is where I remember mostly the mana control, but also remembers another technique that Asta kind of taught her in her head. Mostly this form is actually mostly combining her water kind of technique with her mana skin. And she starts doing it, and this is where, well, she starts kind of using the flow of water around her, flow of water magic, mostly making a water bubble around her, and this is where I start kind of using mana skin to try to control it. This is where, well, she started going into a different transformation. This is where her transformation kind of looks like this. She goes into her kind of Valkyrie form in an instant. Of course, she does have mostly this water kind of like giant spear thing, but yeah. What was it called? I forgot what it's called. So yeah, it's called Water Creation Magic Valkyrie Dress, but yeah. She was in this form now, and this is where all of Solid's attacks really never hurt her no more. She was angry, and this is where she looks at mostly Solid, and this is where she says, Sea Dragon. She launches a Sea Dragon straight towards him. We'll see the Solid, and Solid says, what the? He got eliminated in an instant. Solid was like right now kind of wondering and shocked to see mostly right now, well, Noelle in a form like this. This is where, well, he wasn't expecting this. This is where, well, Noelle's older sister was shocked to see that form. Noelle wasn't there, but this is where Asta was right now grinning with a small grin on his face. This is where, well, mostly he's happy that Noelle managed to go into a form that mostly he thought about helping her about that. This is where, well, she easily defeated the team, mostly the other side team of Solid, and this is where, well, mostly making shocked and mostly seeing Noelle in this form. This is where thought of his own form already, but this is where, well, he doesn't know if he'll be able to go into it. This is where, well, he's a little bit kind of jealous to see Noelle have it, and also jealous that mostly his brother Asta is surpassing him in every single point of view. He doesn't know if he will be able to defeat both of them, or at all surpass them. This is where, well, we'll see, kind of goes on, but yeah, this is where, well, the next team of battle is between Finral, his brother, and yeah, you get the point. Mostly, I don't remember half of the matches, so I'm just going to try to time skip it, but yeah. We go into mostly Finral losing against his brother, still like original canon, but of course his brother tries to kill him, but this is where Asta appears right in front of him, right now grabbing his face and say, don't you dare try to hurt my teammates. Don't ever hurt my freaking friends, or people I care about. This is where, well, he grabbed this guy's face and was about to rip that off his head. Yes, think of it like Gojo when he's pissed and was about to rip this guy's head off. This is where, well, we'll see, right now Julius managed to stop him, but I guess, again, time doesn't affect mostly Asta because literally he's walking around, grabbing this guy and just launching his shit straight to the ground. This is where Julius says, okay, this is going to be terrible, when clearly my time doesn't work against him. Also, I should mention that Lucas is no longer in mostly Julius' body, but yeah. Neither is Azrael, but yeah. This is where, well, we'll see. Asta then looks back at Julius and says, what? Can I not kick his ass? Isn't that the next match anyway? This is where Julius nods and says, yes, that is the next match. This is where, well, we go into mostly Asta looking at the guy. This is where looking at the space user magic. And this is where, well, while the space user magic is having Haha guy and Ice Girl magic, this is where, well, we'll see Asta then tells them to not get in his way. This is where, well, Asta is right now getting towards the leader, or mostly the vice captain of, well, mostly the Golden Dawns, and this is where he starts sending an attack straight towards Asta, and it doesn't affect him thanks to Limitless just blocking it. This is where Asta right now uses blue. Well, not even blue. He then transformed blue into red in an instant, launches straight into, right now, well, this guy, smashing him straight into multiple rocks in an instant. This guy was like, ugh! This is where he was shocked to believe that he can get defeated by a commoner, especially from the Black Bulls. His pride is getting hurt. This is where he gets angry and starts launching an attack straight towards Asta. Asta right now disappears in an instant, appear right in front of him, and starts giving him the fucking combo of mostly Miguel kind of getting that combo from Gojo. This is where he starts beating his ass, left, right, up, down, up, down. This is where he's not giving up. This is where this man is getting such a fucking combo that this man probably had a coma in like 2 seconds ago. This is where Asta says, black, flash. This is where he then punches the shit out of fucking this guy, eliminating him instantly. He got knocked out. Every person was winding their eyes after seeing how Asta brutally beat his ass. This is where Yuno was expecting that Asta wasn't going to be like fighting people with mostly brutal hands or at all. But no, Asta is truly different. He's actually will be beating the shit out of people no matter what. This is where Asta then looks at the people like Haha Guy in the Ice Girl, which mostly Haha Guy was actually easily defeated thanks to Mimosa. But Ice Girl was right now being quite difficult. This is where she says, damn it, this is difficult. Oh, damn it, I'm going to lose. Asta says, you are going to lose. He whispered to her ear, making her just blush at the same time right now. Just right now frightened in an instant. Asta just shatters the crystal behind her. And this is where, well, Asta says, done. See, you lost. This is where, well, she just shocked, blushes at mostly Asta. And of course then looks away and got teleported away, defeated. This is where everyone else says, brutal as hell? Well, yeah. Gina and the others were still defeating people left and right. Even with mostly Noel's team actually defeating people left and right. Now it's with the captain, or mostly, well, captain level kind of person, fighting against mostly Noel and Yuno and others. But yeah. Now, of course, he was actually easily defeating them. But of course, well, mostly he was about to win against him. But this is where, well, he lost because Noel went into her form. And even Yuno went into his own form. Wind Spirit form while Noel was in Valkyrie form. This is where, well, mostly Asta was right now fighting against Gina, right now Estef, and even was it called Azula. But of course, where, well, he kind of just sighs, and this is where, well, he used a technique that was secret, and the only technique that he hasn't used in a while, or has never actually used, was domain expansion. Only activate for 0.000 or 1 second, and this is where, well, all of them were just frozen in mostly just this. Mostly knowledge frozen amounts. This is where Asta then flicks their foreheads and then appears in the crystal and just flicks and destroys it. This is where they were confused on what exactly they got hit by. But this is where Asta grins and says, well, I should be going then. Bye. This is where, well, this is where the girls say, you cheated. This is where Asta says, I didn't cheat it. I just used my amazing, good-looking, handsome body to flash you, and you girls kind of fall for it. But yeah, Asta was lying. Which you girls can't remember it, which they were angry for the fact they can't remember it. This is where, well, Asta says, well, I should be going then. Bye-bye. This is where they all teleport. This is where, well, they were actually trying to rip off mostly Asta's clothing if they can get through Limitless. But they can't. This is where Asta kind of just smiles, while seeing mostly Noel and her team manage to win. This is where, well, mostly next, it's now the battle between, the final battle between Asta's team and Noel's team. Asta grins, and right now he smiles, saying, so, who am I going to be fighting? Noel or Noel or Yuno? Yuno kind of says, you'll be fighting me. Noel kind of says, but no, I want to fight him. This is where Asta's like, Noel, this is between rivals. There should only be a rival battle between me and Yuno. I'm sorry there, Noel, but you're going to have to fight mostly Mimosa, because if you don't defeat her, she'll probably be having to become my new wife. That's where he said it knowing that mostly it will piss off Noel so much, making Mimosa jealous. And that's where, well, mostly those two are right now kind of fighting for their love. But yeah. But of course, Asta only did this just to increase their kind of mostly just goals into becoming stronger. But yeah, just their ambitions. But yeah, this is where, well, what's it called? That mushroom guy versus Soda. Soda is saying, great, I guess I'll be the protector again. Mushroom guy says, I'm going to be here then. This is where, well, mostly Yuno goes into his form right now, getting into his full power, because he really does not know how powerful well, Asta is. This is where he tells Asta to go into his full power. Asta says, no, I'm not doing that. This is where Yuno says, Asta! This is where Asta says, no, I don't wanna. You can't make me. Can you? This is where, well, Yuno gets angry and starts sending, like, literally wind spears, wind arrows, and everything straight towards Asta. And they never hit him. This is where Asta says, no, I'm not going into it. You're not seeing my full power. Don't want to. Blah, 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 blah. This is where, well, Yuno was screaming at Asta saying, show me it! You bastard! This is where Asta says, aw, why are you so mean to me? Right now, Mimosa and right now, well, Noel are fighting. Mimosa did get the knowledge of, well, mostly his transformation, similar to that of, well, Noel. But since mostly Mimosa is a healer, not a fighter, she managed to kind of learn a kind of attack. This is where she kind of says flower, well, mostly flower transformation. This is where, well, allowing her body to kind of go into kind of a form of flowers. And this is where, well, they were all kind of like mostly sunflowers, and this is where, well, they were all gathering solar, mostly sunlight. This is where, well, she says solar attack. This is where she launches multiple solar beams straight towards Noel. Noel dodges and right now starts trying to block it. They're fighting, and this is where, well, Asta says, nope, 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 nope. He's dodging pretty much mostly Yuno's attack, and Yuno says, damn it, stop running, fight me already. This is where Asta says, aw, but I thought I had to be playing with my brother and making sure that he's actually prepared to fight me in my full power. This is where, well, Yuno's gritting his teeth, but this is where, well, Asta smiles, and this is where, well, he's still playing very goofy, similar to that of Gojo. He actually remembers how this actually worked out, because mostly he did have to fight against his father in the mind skip, and he literally had the worst time of his life fighting against him. So of course it's funny to tease other people. This is where, well, just like his father teased him when he was in battle. This is where, well, Asta sighs and says, fine, if you really want to fight me in my full power, then I guess I'll show you my full power. This is where, well, mostly, he then asks Libby if he wants to go into the transformation. Libby says no. This is where, well, Asta says, you meanie. Fine, I'll go into my king form then. Or, not king form, prince form. This is where, well, he right now concentrated his mostly mana all around his body. And literally, mana itself right now was so dense that it literally covered up mostly Asta's body like a ball around him. And this is where it starts cracking, releasing so much mana. And this is where Yuno was thinking it's going to explode, which it does. This is where pushing Yuno, but Yuno was confused. This is where Belle was actually scared of the form that mostly Asta was now in. This is called the Prince form. For some reason, it's called the Prince form, but it's called the Prince of Limitless. This is where, well, or Infinity. This is where, well, Asta was now kind of having his eyes still closed because he's not revealing his eyes. But this is where, well, mostly he still has the blindfold but has the crown on top of his head. And this is where, well, Asta say, well, it's time for you to see my true power, Yuno. Yuno says, Asta. This is where, well, Asta revealed his eyes. Right now they're turquoise green, but this is where, well, they have infinity symbols right now in his eyes. This is where, well, Asta says, you said it so much that you want to fight me with full power. There's nothing to go back on that word no more, Yuno-san. Or mostly not Yuno-san, Yuno-kun. Yuno right now got scared of the power. It literally, its sheer density was actually much more stronger than his form. Before Yuno can even react, Asta punched him so hard in the stomach. Right now you see Black Flash again. This is where he gave him the combat style, and this is where Yuno was instantly eliminated. Damn it. This is where, well, making right now, well, Noelle wind her eyes when basically Asta appeared right next to her. His sheer density and his sheer existence is much more different than anyone. This is where, well, Asta says, what's up there, beautiful? You know, you will be more beautiful if you were mostly with me. This is where, well, mostly Noelle's face became red, and she couldn't really react fast for the attack, which just poked her in the head and knocked her out. This is where Asta then appeared right in front of the crystal guy and says, sup. This is where he says, red flash. This is where, well, a red flash right now appeared very fast in front of the guy, smashing him to the wall, destroying his mushroom, destroying the crystal. This is where mostly Asta grins, right now letting go of his form kind of down, mostly go down. And this is where, well, Asta says, well, that was easier than expected. He put on his blindfold and just smiled, saying to the camera, well, that was better, I guess. This is where, well, he then kind of just says, still, it just seems that there might be other people that might have saw that. He sent someone quite familiar, but he doesn't know why. But other than that, for right now, I'm going to leave it off here for mostly part 4 of this What If, because I got to be going. Other than that, bye soon, yeah.